So
There we go.
awesome. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules. June Carlson and I have started this Lawyers Who Lunch group. And really what it is for law firm owners, and we want to bring law firm owners and other attorneys, and we want to bring resources to them. And I'm excited today to be hosting this with June. June and I have been doing this for, I guess, about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic, and then we really had to pivot in Zoom. So now we're doing it in this hybrid model, which is perfect. Next year, though, we do have 3 events that are planned in the first quarter. We will be doing a vision board workshop, and we're doing it at different times to capture different individuals who can't necessarily make it during the lunchtime. And with a new Zoom, with a hybrid, it can be difficult. So we'll be doing a vision board workshop. So planning for you, your law firm, and for for attorneys. And then we will be doing a wine tasting, and then another a breakfast meeting on marketing. So we hope that you will join us. We will send you those dates. And my name is Cherish Cruz. I am an estate planning and business succession planning attorney here in Atlanta and also in Gwinnett County. And June, if you want to introduce yourself.
I think I know everybody. I'm June Carlson Platts. I'm a banker here at Southern First Bank, and I think I know all of you, and I'm so glad that you're all here today. Thank you. I'm excited to hear Lara's presentation.
Yes. And I just want to say I absolutely love Lara. She is amazing. And this is my own personal testimonial for her. She came in, God, when was it? I don't even know when you did it, but when did you come in? Earlier last year.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, and so she came into my house and she reorganized 3 key areas for me. One was we are Asian, as you can tell. And so we had shoes all over the house because we don't usually wear our shoes inside the house. So she centralized everything and had she basically created a mud room for me. And so now we still use that system today. She organized my home office, which is great because during, well, we're still in it, but the pandemic, that was very difficult and challenging. And so every file has a place. And then she also organized my basement, which was honestly crazy. And she will, and my garage. My garage is beautiful. So it's great to have all of these things, but it's nice when we're working a lot from home to figure out and have a place for everything, and not only a place for everything, but a system. And so the kids have been able to stick to the system. I'm like, don't put it there. Lara said, don't put it there. So it's been wonderful. So I wholeheartedly appreciate her, speaking on this, because I think it clears everybody's head. And as we're going into the holidays, I know that it's chaos is going to ensue. But if you want to introduce yourself, Lara.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Lara Anderson, and I'm going to give you a little background on my business, and then we'll talk about some fun projects I've done lately, and then I also have some tips going into the holiday season. So, everybody ready to get started?
Yes.
All right. Yes. Okay. So I am a California native, born and raised 30 minutes east of San Francisco, and I moved to Atlanta 18 years ago. My sister just had a baby, and he is now a freshman in college. So it goes to show that life changes, and the transitions that we are all going through is what I love to specialize in. So I specialize in moves. I specialize in people's office. If you're the top right corner, I can help. I specialize a lot with busy working moms, which is the bottom left. And then on the right, I thought this was a good depiction of what some of you do on a daily basis is meet with clients, sign a lot of papers, etc. So I specialize in any kind of transition that you are going through in your life. So one of the biggest things I've realized over the last 16 years of my business is that I love moving. Other people, let me finish that sentence. I love coming in. My team is actually at the house over here in Buckhead today, all week, and they are purging and packing for our clients. And my movers are coming tomorrow that I've scheduled, and we will move her into her new place, unpack and organize completely in and out of cardboard in 4 days with this client. We drop off the donations. We are mailing a lot of keepsakes to her grown children. My art hanger is coming on Friday. I've already had my painter in there. So we handle all of the contractors for you. So you don't have to worry about a thing. It is seamless, and it's wonderful. If you have friends or family who are complaining about their upcoming move, feel free to leave it to Lara. This is a sample day. This is what it's looking like at our client's house right now, actually.
Laura, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm not seeing the slides moving. Is anyone else on Zoom seeing the slides moving? Because it's still I just still see leave it to Laura on there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a move either.
Yeah, ditto.
No. That's
Because I noticed you started saying, I
Try
know.
new share. Try new share.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. New share.
For share screen. Oh, no, do the other one to the left.
Thanks, guys. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
Actually. I just.
Oh, now we
here
can see it.
go. Oh, now, yeah. This
Good
is
now,
what
yeah.
we love.
Thank
Let me
you.
go back. That was very cool.
Oh, wow, looks like me on moving day.
So goodbye, California, hello, Georgia. And then these are some of the examples that I was talking about that you couldn't see. Sorry about that. So if you're that top right photo, I can help. And then these are the move management services we offer. Everything from purging and packing to unpacking and organizing, everything in between. And then this is a typical move day. Everyone on this page? Okay. You see the big soccer ball? Yes. We didn't need to put that big soccer ball in a box. So the top left is what your house looks like during the process, which is what my client's house looks like right now. And then the bottom three photos are move day worthy. And these are some of my muscle that we use every week and coordinate, and they're fantastic. And we get our clients ready to go. So this is the previous days would be, this is my vehicle, my truck that I drive, filled with boxes and packing paper and such. That's very typical for me. So we had a client last year, October of last year, and he is a lawyer, was a lawyer, excuse me, top left, and then he decided to retire. I think he was 72 and decided to turn in his legal papers. And so this was about 4 years ago that he retired, and his executive assistant and his wife, and he brought home all of these papers, and you can see them in the top right. This is what his home office looked like for 4 years.
Oh my God.
4 years. And it drove his wife crazy. He didn't care. He didn't look at any of this stuff. And so my team and I, when we came to pack them up last October, this is what we were able to shred, and we were able to pack. And then you can't see the bottom of his photo. Yes, you can. So now you can see the floor in his office, and we ended up packing him and moving him to a new house. But the point is, this process of 4 years that he didn't care to look at or touch was gone because of us. This is an example of another client that we moved a couple years ago, and this is their empty pantry, and this is their beautifully organized pantry. So just some of the magic that Leave It to Lara can create. This is another client of ours who all of these bookshelves behind their beautiful piano were full of books. full, jam-packed, most books we've ever seen in a house. And this is what my car looked like when we donated all of these wonderful books. There's my little 2 sidekicks, Leave It to Luke and Leave It to Drew, my boys, and the lovely Goodwill man who had an avalanche of books. And this is what we were able to create in their downsized, smaller home, just a small version of what they really love and what they were really going to use, and really asking them the hard questions of what can we get rid of. And they aced that test. They did amazing. So that's the focus of when you're getting rid of things. It's really, if you had a smaller space like this, what would you put in there? You know, we're all used to this storage and we fill it. You know, you move into a new house and you're like, I'll never fill this house. And lo and behold, you do. You or your family members do fill it. So really think about what you need and what you want to be in your home. So with that, we offer professional organizing, which is what I've done for the last 16 years. So we don't just do moves, we also help clients who have lived in their homes for years, or who moved in and didn't use us and regretted it. And so they call us in and say, this isn't working. You know, we still haven't unpacked these 10 boxes. So help us in the kitchen or the pantry or a closet. A home office is obviously number one these days with a lot of people working from home. So this is an example. This is not Cherish's garage.
It looked like that though.
It did not. This is a client who has 4 children. And as you can see on the left, they were inundated. And every time that they filled up a bag to donate, it just threw it in the garage, or filled up a bag in their car, threw it in the garage. So their garage was a complete and utter dumping zone. They were not able to park. They were barely able to walk in this little area. So my team and I came in, this was probably 6 years ago, and just overhauled everything. We donated a bunch. We kept only what they need. You could see each blue bin is clearly labeled with the contents and super easy to find, and able to park 2 cars in this garage. We offer a lot of services for our clients, professional organizing or moving. So I have a mobile shredder that can come. I have a consignment store that I drop off consignment to. Oh no, my little tea. And we outsource a lot so that we can help you get the stuff out of your house. You know, it's great if you're purging, but if you don't finish that step, which is getting it out of the house, then you did all that work for nothing. So instead of letting this paper add up in the attic, let's get it out and have our mobile shredders come. So if you just need that service, you can reach out to me and I can provide you with that information. This is a storage unit. Raise your hand if you guys have a storage unit. I have one, but it's for empty boxes for my business. Well, good. Nobody has a storage unit, but as you will find, your parents might have a storage unit, your siblings, your cousins, and all it's doing is wasting money. You're not going in there to grab anything. We've had a lot of clients whose parents have passed away and now they're ready to pull out everything, and they literally donate 99% of the items. And we had a client in 2020 who, her and her husband got married, and they both had so much stuff from 2 households that they rented a 20 by 30 storage unit, which is, at the time, was $800 a month. And they filled it, and we went in and emptied this. It has been, y'all, 10 years since they were married, and they combined households, and this was stuff that they didn't want to put in their house. She was with us for an hour, and she looked at everything and said, I don't want any of it. We didn't put one thing in her car. I kept some photos and delivered them to her, but other than that, everything went to donation. So if you multiply 800 times 12 times 10, that was a huge waste of money. And luckily we emptied that storage unit, gave the people their key, and they were able to have an empty, tap and not bring anything back to their house. So really think about, if you're getting ready to get a storage unit, call me first. We don't want you to have a storage unit. So a couple little things, organizing does not need to be expensive. You can go to the Dollar Tree and dollar store and get ice cube trays and use them in your jewelry drawers. You can use an over the door hanger for so many different purposes. The clear ones are the best. You can put cords in one, you can put electronics in another, you can put all kinds of things. We use them for hats and gloves and scarves for the winter time. We use them for sunscreen and bug spray. You can throw one of these on any back of a door that you can use. I know that Cherish had already done that in her home, and it was a huge space saver. This is an old spice rack that somebody had, and we repurposed it in a craft room. And those are lots of different little glitters and crazy little things that I don't allow in my house for mess, but sparkles and all those kinds of things. You could also use this if we have a client whose daughter's really into baking, so we use it for sprinkles, for actual candy sprinkles, for all the different colors, and she just spins and decorates her cookies and has a great time. And then these little iPhone boxes that we all get, I know a lot of our clients don't want to get rid of them, and I say, sure, don't get rid of them, but use them. They are great drawer organizers. They're white, they're really solid and sturdy, more than like a shoebox. So get rid of the contents and use it, and then turn it over and use it as a drawer organizer in your kitchen or your office, or in your bathroom even. And depending on how many iPhones you've had, you could have, you know, an entire area of organized drawers just for free. So, Zoom calls are not going anywhere, hence today's presentation. So this is this is actually a video, and I don't know how to play it. Shoot.
Can you press play or no?
Okay, well, no worries. This was a client of ours who was doing a really important international Zoom call, and she was finally ready to change up her background. So as you can see, she would sit right here, like I'm sitting right here, and there's a glare, and there's money, which is not very professional, and a diploma, which is professional, but still the glare from the light. So we removed these, we put up this, you know, non-glaring clock. And then as you can see, she has a little very cool stuff as a personal, you know, home bookshelf, a hand and a monkey and, you know, all kinds of little Pokemon and Play-Doh and all kinds of little situations. So we made it a lot more professional. We moved everything over to one side so that when you're sitting and you just see this corner, it's clean, it's not distracting with these little fingers. And this is actually a time-lapse video of me sort of doing that. And I think we did this for about an hour during our session, and it was you know, a quick hour, and it made a huge difference for her and her call was a huge success. So definitely take a look at your background. I know a couple of you guys on the Zoom call right now are using the new blurred background, which is fabulous. But if you can't do that, or if you want to offer something else, make sure the background behind you is organized and professional. Or pretty, like Lauren's. So cord control, along with Zoom calls, cords are not going anywhere. Even the wireless chargers have a cord. So Amazon, Container Store, even Target sells these great little cord control organizers. They're very inexpensive, they're rubbery, and they hold like a smaller cord or a larger cord. I would have them on the back of my nightstand. You can put them anywhere. You can also make your nightstand a charging station, which is nice. You know, some of us underutilize our nightstand top drawer, so you could make that all hidden, which is wonderful. And then also you can, you know, turn a shoebox or anything into a charging station in a kitchen or a main area in your house. So one of my secrets to organizing success is within my bag. So I'm actually going to grab my bag real quick and show you guys what I mean. So the bag on the left is pretty disastrous and very common. You are not alone. So within your bag, you want to create different, you know, everybody gives these great little gifts, these little pouches, you know, hello, beautiful, things like this as gifts. And what do I do with these? So you can have one for your everyday, your lip and your chapstick and a mask and a hand sanitizer, and you can have one for your business cards and your Sharpies and things like that. We can have another one for whatever else you need. Your wallet can go in here. And that way, when you go, to change bags, which I know a lot of us like to do frequently, you just take that one active and put it into your new bag. So when you open up my bag, there's nothing running around, there's nothing in the bottom, it's only bags and paper organized off, file paper. So really create systems within your purse or your briefcase or your bag so that when you go to pull something out, there's not loose change everywhere, there's not 42 receipts, there's not, split up gum and candy and all those kind of things. So if anyone's guilty of that, take tonight and take an hour and use some little bags. You can even use Ziplocs and really create your categories within your bag. And it's a complete life changer.
So what are some of those categories?
So I have one, unfortunately, a COVID category. I have one with masks and hand sanitizer. I have a personal one, which has my lipstick and my powder and a stick of gum. And then I have one for Leave It to Lara that's small. I have Post-it notes and Sharpies and business cards. I have, a lot of clients with younger kids, so they have one with snacks. And so it really just depends what's going on in your life that you need different categories for. So those are some of the options.
That's great.
And then I also normally have one with electronic, my phone charger, my laptop charger, if that's in your briefcase. It can all be contained, so it's not a mess when you open your briefcase. It's, it's pretty unprofessional, this picture on the left, to show up at a client meeting and, I need to grab $1 for the valet or my sunglasses or anything like that. It's a little bit hard. And so it's a lot easier if you can create pouches within your bag. So how is it already November? Tell me this, middle of November, Thanksgiving is next week. So I was lucky to do a 12 days of clutter control last year and was actually on CNN and was really fun. So definitely check out my socials to find that. But these are just a couple of the ideas that we have. One of the days of the 12 days, one was make sure that when you're going to decorate, so maybe next weekend after Thanksgiving, if you're going to decorate for the holidays, that you have a donate bag and you have a trash bag. So that if you don't put it up, really ask yourself why you're not using that to decorate. Is it too juvenile? Your kids are now grown. Did you not really ever like it because it was from Aunt Mary and she gave it to you and you feel bad? Let it go. Put it in the donate bag. If there is something left in your holiday bin that you're not putting out, you need to let it go. Something's broken. Oh, I'll get that fixed next year. Or my favorite is the photo ornaments that people give you and you never put the photos in. Oh, I'll do that next year. And it says 2011 or the millennium, 2000, and you don't have a photo in there. It's okay to let it go. Or keep it out and put it on your desk and do it for the first time in 20 years. So, so that's the opportunity to really get rid of things as you're implementing them. On the left is actually my little boys, and I love the holidays, so I decorate to the nines, and I have holiday towels and linens. And so with those, exactly, thank you, Lauren. With those, I'm wrapping up the Santa pictures. Wrapping up the Santa pictures, so I'm multi-purposing these items, these fragile, so they don't get broken.
That's a great idea.
Wrap them in the holiday. And then also keeping your holiday wrap separate. Definitely don't keep, Hanukkah Blue Star paper out all year if you're only using it starting next week. Don't keep out Christmas wrap if you're only using it for 3 weeks out of the year. So things that you don't use for 11 months shouldn't be in your active area. So have a holiday gift wrap that goes up with your holiday or down with your holiday decorations. And same with wreaths. This is another video that doesn't look like it's gonna work for me. Same with wreaths. They're really bulky and cumbersome. And so with those, you can hang a nail in the garage and put them up on the nail and get them out of the way. Some of my clients, are afraid of the dust, so they take a plastic bag or a wreath bag and put it over it. me get this back in here. Sorry. There we are. Okay, so happy holidays, everyone. Next up, these are just a couple in action, live, behind the scenes, Leave It to Lara shots of me and my team. I have an amazing group of talented people that work with me. This is Michelle here in the middle, who's buried on an Unpacked and Organized, and she's been with me for 10 years. And these are a couple of my other girls. So you never know who's gonna show up with Leave It to Lara, but it's definitely gonna be someone who's been well-trained and well-versed in all things organizing. Emma right now is at my client's leading the pack up, and Michelle is at another client's who's having she does a yearly refresh in November. Every year we get to go help her out with maintaining some of the systems that have fallen by the wayside the whole year. So.
Oh, so you do maintenance?
We do, we have maintenance plans, yes, absolutely, because, life gets busy and we're realistic, so, if something, we obviously want you to keep the system intact, but if something falls by the wayside, it's okay, and we will come get it back to where it was meant to be. I'll even send a picture to a client and say, how's this looking? Is it still looking like the day I left? No judgment, no guilt. And these are just some organized spaces that we've done. Vasu, I don't know what your hat collection is like, but my husband has, a baseball cap for every day of every 5 years. And so
Pretty much the same. Craziness can never throw one away. So.
Yes, just a guess. So some of those could go in a keepsake bin or in a man cave, and then the active ones that you're actually going to wear could go on the, once again, back of the door organizer. These are great for purses, these are great for shoes, but I really love them for baseball caps too. So, and then this is just a picture of one of our clients' beautiful closets. I will say that hangers make a huge difference. These are called huggable hangers. Container Store has a knockoff brand of them that are pretty good. You can get them at TJ Maxx, you can get them at Costco. They're, all over. And they come in lots of different colors, but they're called an ultra thin slim, and they have a felt on them that makes them huggable, meaning you can take this tank top or this camisole and shake it and it's not going to fall off. So, and they're not much wider than a wire hanger from the dry cleaner. So the wood hangers are beautiful, but they're 3 times the size. So definitely, if you're stuck, first purge, and then maybe you can keep your wood hangers. But if you're still busting at the seams in your closet, making a big difference would be changing out the hangers. And over here was just a fun ribbon area for a craft room. Does anybody have any questions?
I think there were some questions in the chat, or there's just comments. Just always losing keychains within the purse. So do you have any recommendations for that?
Yes, so there is a great little key thing that is a magnet. And so if your purse or briefcase has a magnet to close your bag, your keys will stick to that magnet, which is really nice, from this little keychain. So that is one option. In my bag, I have 2 interior pouches, and one is for my phone and one is for my keys. And because I have all the smaller bags, there's nothing else that needs to go in those pouches, right? I don't have lipstick in them. I don't have Post-it notes. I don't have pens, because those all have a pouch inside the bag. So really my 2 built-ins are empty. So I have one for my phone and one for my keys. So if you can't do that, if you don't have interiors or they're full, the magnet is a great idea. There's also, you can use a carabiner and attach it to the actual handle and just make sure it's on the inside. But I know my mom uses a carabiner because goodness gracious, she can never find her keys. So that's a good idea. What were some of the other questions?
Oh, just, and then as we're heading into the holidays, just my own personal question, what is, so it's good to purge on that end, but like in terms of getting presents and, what's a good assessment for, trying to contain all of the clutter that you have, but you still have tons of toys from last year.
Are you talking about new presents coming in?
Yeah, new presents coming in and new stuff coming in.
So one thing, this was on one of my 12 days of Christmas clutter control, is my boys each have like a Santa sack, and we fill it up probably about December 10th, December 15th, we fill it up with things in their playroom, in their bedroom that they didn't use all year, and that we can give to a donation place and right before the holidays. So that's something to make room for new toys is one idea. And then really just taking a stock of what you have, and when grandparents and aunts and uncles are asking, like just ask for experiences, ask for tickets, ask for, you know, places to go travel, things like that, that aren't going to clutter, you know, your life, but create experiences. And then another thing is I have a lot of clients who still want to buy a lot of presents, and so they need a place to store those. And so starting right now, they're coming in the mail and they're big and bulky. I have a lot of clients where we create future gift areas. And so just making sure it's high and hidden, and so even using a big Amazon box to store all of those in. And then wherever you have your holiday gift wrap set, you can go and wrap them and put them under the tree whenever they're ready, but just designating a spot that is either behind a locked door or is high for little hands, so that you can keep adding to it and it's not all over your house and maybe found by somebody that you didn't want to find it.
Awesome. Well, these are great tips. Does anyone else have any questions?
I do. Do you happen to come into offices to organize them?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not talking home office. I'm talking our office space,
Yes.
because in general.
Yes, commercial. I do a lot of commercial offices because of security. I don't put any of their pictures in my slides because
Privacy.
privacy laws, especially lawyers.
Yeah.
But no, I do a lot of commercial spaces. I've done a lot of work at the CDC. I've done a lot of lawyers. Since there's a lot of paper, I've done a lot of real estate agents. We're starting to get virtual, but still pretty paper heavy. And don't tell anybody, but paper is still my #1 favorite thing besides moves. And paper management is what I love to do. So definitely give me a call if your commercial office needs help.
Yeah, and I definitely, and we'll just go around and do quick introductions because I want Lara to get to know you all. But she's a great resource, and you know, everybody who I have on this speaking series, it just, and personally using her as well too, I can't advocate enough for her. For me, because I have ADD, it's nice to have like systems in place where somebody says to me, hey, put it here. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it here because I cannot think of my brain does not think, create a system. And so, and we also do a lot of, in terms of the gifts, you know, Lara for her next project is gonna help me do a gifting station because I do a lot of gifts for clients that are very personalized, but there's no, it's just all over the place. So she will have to come in and do the second phase of my stuff. But if we want to go ahead and introduce ourselves, Lauren, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to Lara.
Sure. Hi, Laura. And I know Pat, and I know June kind of tangentially through ALA. So it's nice to meet you guys. I'm Lauren Larkin. I am the founder, owner of my own business, which is really exciting to say. This is fairly recent. I own a company called Admin Umbrella. And the reason behind the name is I've always told people when they ask what I do, Pat can relate to this. I'm a firm administrator and have been for 13 years. And I've done a little bit of everything in terms of administration with big firms, small firms, various practice areas. And I've always said I do everything under the administrative umbrella. And so I do anything that isn't the practice of law. And I'm not a great paralegal either. I know enough to be dangerous, but so I for small law firms specifically, because I love working with small firms, I have various silos of service and I customize packages. And so I have, it's human resources compliance, it's payroll administration, benefits administration, bookkeeping, and there's something else and I'm forgetting what it is, but there's something that I call special projects, which is kind of outside of my normal like monthly retainer that I would be paid. And that's like, for instance, office moves. So Lara, this may be a good person, a good connection here. Office moves, or I have a client who says that he's my special project. He wants to pay me to find him a wife. I'm obviously not going to do that. But when I get a call and he says, hey, I've got a plane, another plane of mine that's landing in Briscoe Field in Lawrenceville in 3 weeks, and I don't have a hangar. I mean, that's the kind of thing. Yeah, I'll do that for you. If you don't have somebody who'll do that, I try to restrict that because it can get a bit much, but I do recruiting as well. And so really it's just kind of, client billing. That was the other thing. And so I customize packages based on what the individual firm needs. And I price it out based on a monthly, basically how much time it takes me per month. So I love what I'm doing. I was kind of I didn't have enough to do working with one small firm, and I always had wanted to do something like this. And so now I'm doing this as a business and I love it. And so I've got multiple firms that I support, and I'm in the process of scaling. So if you know of anybody who's fantastic in any one of those silos, please let me know who they are so that I can meet with them and see if they're a good plug-in later. Pat, you and I maybe talk too if you want some extra holiday hours for something. So that's me. So again, my name's Lauren, and Admin Umbrella is my company. So it's nice to meet you all.
Awesome. And definitely connect with one another on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So Jennifer, do you want to go next?
Absolutely. That's actually perfect because I'm a good compliment to you, and we need to definitely talk offline. As you can see, I'm with Insperity, so I'm sure you know exactly what Insperity does. Lauren does. I'm not saying everyone does, but we actually deal with, and I shouldn't say I guess, but really I have a team that does it. I have a team of awesome Laurens that do it, but we handle any and everything having to do with being an employer of people, right? Not just law firms, but really any small business out there. And so that's why Lauren and I would definitely be good people to be connected, because some things are a little too small, and especially if it's a law firm, I definitely don't. I have the expertise with larger firms, but not necessarily those small firms. That would be great, obviously, for you and I to connect. So we definitely need to connect offline. But dealing with everything, we start from, again, payroll, workers' compensation, health insurance benefits and premiums, and really the overall compliance liability standpoint of things, really kind of similar to what Lauren mentioned a few minutes ago. So we love law firms, and the reason we love law firms so much is because lawyers, unlike so many small business owners out there, know how to stay in their lane. They know, okay, I'm really good at, let's just say estate planning like Cherish, but maybe I'm not as good on the employee liability side. So that is why we deal a lot with attorneys. Between 5 to 10% of the companies that we serve are actually attorneys. So thank you so much, Laura. This seriously, the ice cube tray thing, like really, that was like my, and you'll be proud of me. I actually have the little, we can't really see because I've got a fake background, but I do have little bags.
Oh, that's good.
But I will tell you, if you don't mind me kind of spending a second at doing a Q&A here for you, but how, and Cherish, maybe you would be good to answer this too. I'm like you, I love creating systems, but then I don't find myself following them.
Yeah.
How have you been able to keep with it?
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
just really, like Lara created a system that was so effective. You know what I mean? These all start systems because I'm all about the idea, but
Yeah.
the actual system has to, the actual system has to work on a day-to-day basis. And until Lara came in, I'm like her, I would like buy all of these things, but not know how to necessarily mesh them all together. So I like, Justin's like, my husband's like, if you buy another freaking organizer or plastic bin, I will kill you.
I swear to God, my husband.
And then because I have these ideas in my head and it looks so
I know.
good, but
I
it
know.
doesn't really translate. And so until honestly, she cleared it all out and we started from scratch, that's when.
Is that what did it? Okay.
Yeah. And somebody,
fair.
Somebody who has that gift to say, hey, we're going to start all over. Like it's the system that needs to work for you. And she will, walk you through it. Like are you really gonna use this? Is this, tell me what this, why are there 60 million shoe places in your house? Like literally that was the question. There's one in the garage, there was one in the front closet, there was one in the thing. So what she did was she took all, like, and I have a lot of pairs of shoes. We took all of the shoes in the house. She took an old bookcase from IKEA. We housed all of the shoes in there. And I tell you, it is a beautiful thing. So.
I will
I'm
say,
telling you, I love it. And Laura, just so you know, I already have a referral for you that somebody would be, that would be a great referral partner for you. He is in charge of kind of tenant sponsorship from people that are kind of going from being remote to being hybrid to maybe coming all back in the office. And so he's just getting back to starting to do things. So when, Patricia had brought up doing offices, I think he would be perfect because you got a lot of people from a move perspective. So I'm going to do a quick email introduction later today too on that.
thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for
Jennifer,
providing.
I just wanted to mention two things. One is if you're not able to maintain the system, then it needs to be modified.
Yeah.
And whether that modification comes from you, which is hard, or a friend or a family member, which is not great, but but it needs to, or inspiration, like go on, the internet or go on my website and find a video that inspires you or, something like that. So it needs to be modified.
Okay.
A is first thing. B is a little bit of guilt. So to be honest, so, I have clients who said, oh, I only do it because you're here, or I only do it because I have a session with you. And so we set up like pseudo sessions. Like, I'm not going to show up, but you're going to put an hour to do this one project, pretending I'm there. And it works. So
right.
I've had clients use the what would Lara do, which is a little silly, but it's also a little bit of guilt ridden. Like, there's a little Lara on your shoulder looking over you and judging. So think about that, like to her kids. Lara said to put it on.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like,
They say
point it
that
on
to
me.
them. Yeah.
And then third, I just wanted to say that with Cherish, for example, yes, she bought a lot of organizing supplies, but I didn't have to buy one for her house. We bought some new racks for the ceiling in the garage, but that was it. She had bought great things. I think too many.
Like literally, they're like plastic bins.
Yeah, too many options, which for her was a good thing. For the system and for maintaining it was not a good thing. So it really needed to be simplified. So it's not about how many or how beautiful or how fancy you get and how much money you spend on organizing. It's really the system, and it can be an ice cube tray from the Dollar Tree that was $1. It doesn't have to be Pinterest perfect. I will say that I did take the pandemic to build my dream closet in my house, and with my dad and I rebuilt it. And so because we put all that time and energy and money into it, it does inspire me to keep it perfect, right? Like,
true. Yeah.
My pantry looks beautiful because it's baskets, but it's also functional, and everyone most of the time follows the system, but that's because I want it to look a certain way, and it does. So, but if you put that time and energy into it, I think you'll find that you will maintain it. So.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. And I'm sorry to kind of derail us, but I did want to make it a little bit more about you too. And I think we all have that issue. I mean, I think all of us have the best intentions. It's just one of those. So, I mean, that's just so helpful, and thank you. And Cherish, the reason I asked you is, I mean, that's a real life example, and plus, obviously,
no, it is a real life example.
I mean, and we all do it because it's like, oh my God, this basket, oh my God, I have to have it. It's so cute. I know exactly what I'm going to do with it. And then, it ends up, you put toilet paper in it, and it's like,
So true. Thanks, Jennifer. Hey, Mizzou.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. Yeah. So again, thank you so much, Laura. I mean, I was saying earlier, I'm going to be taking a bunch of notes during this, and my blow your mind moment was the baseball caps and the shoe organizer. You never think of things, and they could change your life. So thank you so much. I mean, I will say, I definitely have a lot of people in my life that are on polarizing ends of this, like people that will not tolerate clutter at all, and people that kind of have learned to live with it. And I feel like the people that don't tolerate the clutter are the happy ones. So I'm really excited about approaching some of the people that are living with clutter and letting them know that you're kind of an option to make their life easier. So if this was a little bit later in the day and I had some more courage, I might try to walk you guys to my closet, which I think is kind of somewhere in between, but really appreciate it. And I guess I work for a consulting company called CSR. I work primarily with law firms. Most recently, we have a client in Sandy Springs that we helped kind of onboard a senior marketing coordinator and a new attorney, and they use Insperity. So they're really appreciative and kind of in the process of onboarding everyone through Insperity. I will say I come across a lot of law firms that have this need for sudden services. Oh, we had a paralegal leave, and what do we do? And I think a lot of times they don't realize, well, before you jump into a permanent hire, there are other opportunities and options to kind of get you from A to B. And again, I haven't practiced law in 6 years. I'm happy to say that I'm kind of a recovering attorney. Yeah. I really enjoy kind of working with law firms, small business owners, and our sort of target client is always that person that has a license, needs a license to do what they do, but they wake up one day and say, oh, I became an attorney because I want to practice law, but 90% of my day is on managerial responsibilities, and I'm wearing a marketing hat and an HR hat, and really work with them to try to take some of those hats off so they can focus on doing what they enjoy doing. But great meeting all of you guys, and again, thank you so much for the time. And I guess I do have one question. Laura, I kind of akin this organization issue to people sometimes not realizing that they have a problem. I think the first step is to admit you have a problem with clutter and disorganization. What would you just recommend to say to people that think, oh, I'm a little bit disorganized, but I'm living with it and I'll continue to live with it, to kind of prepare them for, hey, you need to talk to someone like Laura to kind of make your life a lot easier?
If you're talking about family.
Yeah, I would say probably families. I'm thinking about sort of my sister and some other people.
So if you're talking about family, I do suggest that you wait for a complaint. So, oh, I can't find this. I can't find this. It's so frustrating when I can't, when I put something somewhere and I don't know where to look, and I've looked everywhere and I can't find this. That's kind of my in with family, and I say, oh, well, I can help you with that, or I know someone who can help you with that. There is a philosophy that it takes the same amount of time to put something in the right place as it does in the wrong place. And the benefit of that is going to save you so much time, right? When you go to look for it in the right place and it's there. And you're not getting frustrated. So I tend to encourage my clients to wait till there's a complaint. Like with the moving, oh, I'm getting ready to move, and I'm dreading it, and God, I wish there was an easier way. There is an easier way, leave it to Lara. So if it's, a colleague and they're not complaining and they're just commenting about clutter, or, my wife keeps buying baskets and bins, you could start, that as well. Lara can come in and figure out systems for all those bins and baskets and put your money to good use, not just letting it sit and collect toilet paper or whatever it may be. So hopefully that helps. But I do find that when it's family, it's best to have a solution to a complaint, just so you can stay married or happy or whatever.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ms. Sue. Patricia, we'll end off with you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm an administrator, as Lauren pointed out, for a law firm. I've been doing this for several years. So yes, understand wearing the many hats. I did, when you were talking about the background on Zoom, that's really important. And I have a very good friend who, when we first went into COVID, working remote, she moved into her husband's office because he was using a different area in the house that was better for him. And he was a collector of some artwork that she never really paid a whole lot of attention to, and then realized that it could be offensive to certain groups of people. And it wasn't anything, sexual or anything like that, but until somebody pointed it out after about 30 days. And she never realized it. You know, it just never occurred to her. And she was mortified. It's the last thing she would do, right? Is offend anyone. So it's really important. And I've had a lot of people ask about the orange behind me, and I need to get it down. But that's my, you know, fire person costume to wear if there's a drill in the building. And I need to find another place to hang it because it is a bit distracting behind me. The cord control, I need those. I need like lots of those. And where can you find those?
Container Store has the most options. They have them in like 3 or 4 different colors, which is nice if you're putting them somewhere where you can see them. But I like to put them on the back of my nightstand, back of my desk. Cords
are like a pet peeve of mine my entire life. I hate seeing cords, lamp cords, whatever, computer cords, whatever. So I was so excited to see that. I recently moved and I downsized 500 square feet. And it's been a challenge. It's tough to let go of things and find places for them. And I may need some help just because of that. I'm slowly working through it. It's only been 45 days since I've moved into this house, but I still have a lot of boxes stacked up in one room, and it's overwhelming. When you were showing those moving pictures, I totally related to that. And I don't know how I'm going to work through it.
One box at a time.
Yes, and
so when you open that one box, I want you to find a home for everything in it. And if you can't find a home for it, then you need to get rid of what's already in its place, or get rid of what you have let sit for 45 days and maybe didn't really need.
Yeah, it's mostly like decor and trying to figure out where to put things. And when you don't have as much furniture to place, you know, like a bookcase, like I didn't have a big wall unit of bookcase. So I whittled down books and donated books, and I love to cook. So I have all my cooking books. I bought a corner ladder kind of thing. And that's working out so far. And then I've decided that the desk I was using is not efficient where it needs to be. So I reached out to Closets by Design, and they're coming and putting in a big built-in wall and in the spare bedroom, and they're putting a Murphy bed in it. And that way it's going to give me a lot of space to work with.
That's awesome.
But I have a shed in the backyard that all of my holiday stuff is in, and I'll be tackling that this weekend.
That's so awesome.
And so these are great suggestions, and the same thing with the office. I mean, we've kind of gotten into the habit of, if there's an empty office, stuff just kind of gets dumped in there, and we need to get those items out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just carving out the time to do it. And I know Lauren knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's carving out that time in your week to say, I need an hour just to go through all the random keyboards we have. You know, we don't need all the keyboards that come with these computers, because a lot of people have their own ergonomic one that they want to use. And so I have all these spares floating around. I need to get rid of it. So you've inspired me to do that on Friday, because that was already my plan, was to carve out time on Friday to do some of this stuff. So now you've like reinforced it.
So Patricia, just one more little tip. If you are giving yourself an hour to work on that project on Friday, do me a favor and set a timer for 45 minutes. Don't set a timer for an hour. Set a timer for 45 minutes, which will allow you to have a 15-minute period to finish that job. And finish that job means you now have a box of keyboards that needs to be donated. So it needs to be go to your car, that needs to be walked to your office. You need to finish the project. And I have clients all the time, and they set themselves up to fail because they say, I have an hour, that's a ton of time. And then they get to the hour and they have to go pick up carpool, and then their kids come home and they mess up the 42 piles that they didn't have time to put away. So set an alarm on your phone. Don't look at your alarm, don't look at your email, don't look at your text, only the alarm, and set it for less time than you really have, so that you have that 15 minutes to wrap up that project. So you really feel accomplished. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like you just wasted 45 minutes or an hour.
That's a great point. And then I do have another question though for you is, where do you donate some of this stuff? I mean, like computers, obviously I'll have, properly swiped and whatnot and cleared, and they do whatever. But, you know, like the wired mouse, nobody uses a wired mouse anymore, except probably me at home right now. But where do you donate those things? Where are good locations to find, you know, besides just Googling it, you know, schools?
So unfortunately, you know, because of COVID, a lot of schools won't take used electronics just because of germs. But Goodwill has a corporate sponsorship and relationship with Dell Computers, and they have for 10 years now. And so really, you know, my clients wait for electronic recycling, but they don't need to. I take so much stuff to Goodwill that's electronics, because they will give it to Dell and they will recycle it properly, or they will source it out. So the downtown, you can donate to any Goodwill and they'll bring it to the downtown location, which goes directly to Dell. But then if you go to charm.org, CHARM.org, you can dispose of anything. You can dispose of paint, gasoline. It's a drop-off location. During COVID, they were, like heavy COVID, they were requesting appointment times, but it is for the most part free. Once you get to a certain level of paint, you do have to pay for it, but there's a ton that they will take on charm.org.
Charm, CHARM.org.
Yes.
Okay, because we have like in the office, we have some old office furniture that is not horrible, but it's just not stylish anymore. Okay. And it'd be nice if we could donate it, if there's, you know, maybe an organization that can use that, a startup or, you know, a nonprofit of some sort.
Yeah, and there are, I think, I don't know of them, some.
Yeah, and actually, just as an FYI on there, you might want to consider whatever county you're in. Like, for example, I'm in Cobb County, and Sherry Martin runs the Cobb Community Foundation. She might be able to help you with that. And I'm not sure where you're located, but I'm
Cobb
happy
County. No, that's perfect, Jennifer. I'm Cobb County. Yeah.
Oh yeah, reach out to me. I pinged you on LinkedIn anyway. I've linked in with y'all, so we'll
Awesome.
just let
Thank
me
you.
know, and I'll introduce you to her.
Okay.
So real quick, it's not charm.org, sorry, it's live. If you Google charm donations, it'll come up, but it's actually livethrive.org, and it's and then it'll come up as charm. I don't know why it's not charm.org, sorry. It's livethrive.org.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, everyone.
I do want to mention, I do have some nonprofit connections, one of which is the Women's Resource Center to End Domestic Violence, and I do a lot of volunteering with their safe house.
That's
And
perfect,
often-
Lauren, because of our practice area. That's perfect.
Yeah. So I do a lot of volunteering. I'm actually doing a drive for Christmas. One of my clients asked if we could do that. So I'm doing a drive for the residents of the safe house, and their the mail truck is pushing my trash cans out of the way with their bumper.
Oh, goodness.
That's
You
weird.
gotta love the Postal Service.
Right? Yeah. So I'm doing a collection for Christmas, and there also is a family that is moving out of the safe house currently, and I know that they need some furniture. So it's a mama and her kids. So specifically dressers. I've got a leather recliner and some lamps and a bed and all that kind of stuff, but I know that they need dressers specifically. So if there's anything like that, I mean, I usually know where to send things. So if you ever want to know where to send things, I mean,
And what was the name of that organization again, Lauren?
it's the Women's Resource Center to End Domestic Violence.
Okay, perfect.
So Pat, if you look at my LinkedIn, I just shared something the other day with that drive that we're doing. It's 12 residents of the safe house, and there's 16 kids. So we're doing a cash collection for the kids, and we're doing gifts for the mamas, because we thought the autonomy of the mamas being able to shop for their own children is really important in the situation that they're in.
Absolutely. We
And
did that
so-
through ABLF. Yeah.
Amazing.
So if there's anybody who wants to do a cash donation or anything donation, just let me know and I'll help coordinate that. So
Awesome. Thank you.
sure.
Well, thank you so much. This is very productive, and I definitely want all of you to connect on LinkedIn, and we'll continue this conversation. We are taking a break. I can't believe it's already the end of November, but we're taking a break for December, but then we'll be back with a vision board workshop. And so we'll send you details on that. And that will be in person at Southern First. And so that'll be good. But thank you, I appreciate it.
If you haven't done one of Cherish's vision boards, make sure you do it. I did mine in 2020, which was a disaster. Because so many of those things came true over 2 years, so I highly recommend the vision board event. It was incredible for me.
Yes, I will be invited again. Yes, thank you.
Laura, I do have a quick question for you, if you don't mind hanging out. I have a kid with ADHD and I have ADHD and we got a lot of little stuff and I'm very organized, but my child just has bins. So I'd love to know some tips and tricks on how to teach her to think that way.
How big are the bins?
It's one of those IKEA things. It's just a little 12 by 12 drawers. She just shoves everything in there and at least makes it visually look better, but then she forgets what she has.
And how old is she?
Do what? She's 7.
7. So label, categorize as much as you can. I know you're rolling your eyes, but each of those
I can do that all day long and she'll still put the stuffies in the Shopkins bin. So
have her do it.
okay, that's a good idea too.
Have her create the category, have her create the label, like fun with a marker and, chalk paint and all kinds of things. Have her be involved in it, and maybe not you, maybe a babysitter or another family member. Maybe the dynamic of you two isn't ideal for that project. Just thoughts.
Maybe.
Have her be involved in it, her be excited about it, her make the category. And that way it makes sense to her so that she can.
Well, so we've done that before. She just gets overwhelmed visually, I think, is part of it. So if I can do it in little bits, it'll probably be better.
Yeah, so if it's a 12 cubby shelf from IKEA, do 1 row at a time. Do either 3 or 4 cubbies at one time. It is hard with toys because you kind of have to see them all to do them all, but maybe you can take breaks.
Yes. Okay. And then you said it was was it a re-Santa bag that you called it?
I call it a Santa bag.
Oh, a Santa bag. Okay.
You fill it up with your toys and then empty it to the donation place, and then it's empty for Santa to come.
Okay.
Or you can use a pillowcase, you can use a trash bag, you can use, anything. But
Yeah, we just generally take our toys over to the Women's Resource Center because they've got the kids that don't have anything. So that's if there's, other than maybe just Goodwill, if you're looking for somewhere else, especially during the holidays. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.